Okay, so here we go. Here's the pieces that are assembled, and the farthest thing at the top of the picture would be, or the video would be, the front, towards the front of the van, and I'm looking at the back. I wanted to keep the back open. Eventually I'll put drawers in there, but for now this is the way it'll be. I carefully glued and nailed everything together with finish nails. Excuse me. And I got it as square as I could, and it's pretty light, but you can see the construction. So what I'm going to do is I'll stop and I'll go put this in the van and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so here we go. I put it in the van and it fits nicely. It fits right between the wheel wells with the gap on both sides. Of course, I don't have it anchored down or anything, but you can see it's pretty sturdy. And remember that I will be filling in the sides with cabinetry on both sides, and then I'll be putting the hinge top on top here that will be for the bed, which will extend all the way across the cabinetry on the sides here, and this will give us a bed all the way across. And then the thing I was really concerned about, and it's going to work out fine, just in case I go that route, not that I will, but a lot of beds that I've seen built out of 2x4s, storage is lost under here as far as getting things underneath there. That's why I kept these dimensions smaller here. So a good rule of thumb when you're constructing something is to build all your strength, your width twice your thickness. So this is all 3/4 inch plywood, and it's structurally very strong, forced down. That's where the pressure will be, because we'll be laying on top of it. And then all the struts, or the bracing, whatever you want to call this, is also 3/4 inch thick, and I made it 1.5 inches wide. So it's just kind of you know, like 2x4 type construction, only a lot smaller. And then this tote, which is a standard heavy-duty tote that I wanted to go under there in case I decided to go that way, it just slides right under, just barely, but it goes. It goes under there, and of course it can be pushed all the way up. And actually there's enough room under that for 2 totes on each side, and that's probably the way I'll go to start with. And then this whole area here is still, there's 2 foot of area in the back of this van for storage, and then the bed will be on top of that. So I'll stop here and I will continue on. Pretty much everything here is here. I still have to true it up a little bit and stain it. But that box I showed you I built, I put it here in the middle of the van between the wheel wells, and then what I did was I boxed in down the sides. I haven't decided, but that's all storage underneath there. I haven't decided what I'm going to, whether I'm going to go hinges or just drop in and out. Those are things I have to think about. And the same way with here down this side. So there's basically a little bit more width than the wheel wells down the sides. And I can store my camping gear underneath here, and in the back I'll take you around the side and show you. And this is the living area in here, so it turned out pretty nice. And of course I mounted my cabinet in here permanent, so it's sturdy now, it's not going anywhere. So anyways, when I do some finish work on it, I'll see if this lifts up. Yeah, you can see here, see the storage down the sides. So anyways, okay, I'll add this video when I do some more work. Thank you. This will be the first trip the wife and I have made with the van since I painted the rims and did the complete brake job. I just want to show you quick. I got my tools packed in here. There's a storage there just for this quick trip. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 totes in there and all that extra gear. So plenty of storage, and that's not counting the sides. Of course, this in no way is finished. But anyways, I'm gonna do a shout out to Caleb S. You probably already know, but he did his last van video and posted it here a day or so ago. He's hanging up the van life and going back to apartment life, which is fine. It's sad to see that he sold his van, but I imagine living in the city, it'd be an issue with storage and things like that. His van is basically a Chevy version of what I have without the extended top, but he got rid of a nice rig. Okay, this is a quick addition or progress report to the video I'm currently building on. I've done a little bit of extra work and I just wanted to show it to you as I go. One of the things is I routed all my edges, just a regular half round edge, and you'll see it's more obvious when I show you the rest of the video, but you can see it right there. Of course, I haven't sanded anything yet. That's going to be when I'm all done with this and decide it's all anchored the way I want. And I drilled these holes down here on the side for ventilation, and of course there's some ventilation right there. And then I drilled these holes up here, and that's for to stick your finger in. Let's see if I can do this with my left hand. You just take this lid out like that, and that's one reason why I had to have the ventilation for the heat exchange for the air conditioning unit. So the side compartments all have a little hole drilled in, and I drilled that with a step drill, which works really nice because you drill it one way and then down to 1 inch, and then you do it from the bottom side, and it makes a nice, I don't know if you can see that, but a nice tapered edge in there. You don't have to route it. So anyways, those are done, and then I worked on this bed. So this is what it looks like in the complete closed up position, and then I'll show you what my options are. So here goes. Okay, I have these pins in here. You see these pins. I live on a farm, so you just go in the shed and try to solve problems as you go with whatever you have, so you don't have to run the store every 5 minutes. And I didn't want this whole thing sliding around like when you're putting on the brakes. So these pins drop down in and anchor into the bottom box, and they keep this thing from sliding around. And you can take the pin out, and then this flips down into this position. I'll have to back up a little bit so you can see it. And this is my position for my bed for sleeping crossways from window to window. So that gives me 54 inches sleeping width, and it gives me, including the window sills, over 6 feet length, which is laying across the van. And of course, if you notice, the bed's a little bit below the window sills, so I can have a 4 or 6 inch foam will make that level. Then you just have your pillows up in the window sills, and I needed to do it that way because I'm 6 foot tall. Okay, and then I'll show you some more here. And then my other option, if I wanted to sleep lengthwise in this bed, I can pull this pin And then this flips down. And then I have a full 6 foot long this way by 6 foot wide, basically a king size bed. And what I want to do is I want to have pieces of foam cut. I want to have a piece of foam that's cut and, you know, upholstered or whatever down that side, one down that side, and then 4 equal pieces across the center, and you'll see why in a minute. So you might be saying, well, what the heck is that blue strap there for? Well, I'll show you. And I haven't practiced this, so we'll see if I can do this with one hand. So I come in here like this, and I grab that strap and I pull that up, and then this all slides. See how that all slides. And then I line it up. There's a hole down there through the frame. I put this pin in. Okay. And then I go around, or you can do it from the inside of the van by stepping over, but I can't do that with the hand tied up with the camera. I go around to this side, and I push this in, right there, and I drop that pin in, and now I have my bench. Okay, so I'll stop the camera right here. A couple of things I forgot to mention so far in this video. After we took our second trip, the wife and I, we did about, well, the speedometer said 333 miles by the time we round trip and we got back home from our destination. And the van run real well. And I almost got 20 gallons of gas in it after I got back. So that means that it's getting better than 16.5 miles a gallon. I drove it a little easier on the freeway. I didn't go over 65. I generally set the cruise control between 60 and 65, usually around 62, 63. So I think this thing has the potential of getting 17 if it's driven right. The other thing was, I had a question from someone wanted to know how I access my storage from inside the vehicle, the way I have it set up, since it's open in the back and you use the back doors to get in. Well, I kind of thought through that, but I couldn't really figure it all out in my head, so I just started building it, and it really worked out. On top of the box is 4 sheets of plywood. You're looking at one sticking up, the other one's horizontal where you can barely see it, but they're all exactly the same size. They're 4 foot wide, 4 foot wide that way, and they're 18 inches this way. And all 4 of them, if they're all laid out flat, make 72 inches. That right there is in a bench position, which gives me a bench that's facing back towards the back doors and a bench facing front. But if you see up on the top where that strap is, there's a hinge hooking the two centerpieces together. So if this is all the way laid out flat, I can't lift it up without lifting up 2 panels at a time. But all you have to do is pull that strap up. Once you have a peak here, you know, this peak coming up at any angle at all, then you're able to take the panel that's in the front, this front panel, and you can just lift it up and get in your box. See that? Let's try and get this set right. And so then this can be just slid back, and you have full access. If you wanted to, that can all be set over, just like that. Give you full access from inside the vehicle. So you can see the hinge arrangement.